Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I am Tamara Johnson-shealey. Good morning. It is Saturday. It is Saturday. It is Saturday. It is October 17th. Oh my gosh. David, good morning.
Good morning, Tamara.
How are you?
Hanging in there.
You hanging in there?
Yeah. I'm trying to keep my mental stability in the midst of all the craziness that's going on. Uh, very funny New Yorker cartoon about the fire hose of lunacy coming out of Trump, um, and um, when we have a chance, I want to talk about something, um, the concept of the 99%. But I know we have guests this morning, so
Yeah, we have guests this morning. Where's your t-shirt?
it,
There it is.
uh,
Yeah, it's there. It's
okay.
there. Yeah, so we're gonna talk this morning. We're gonna bring Lenny and Vandy in. I've been wanting to have them on the broadcast. Good morning, Marlon. Good morning, ADOS family. I've been wanting to have it on the broadcast for quite a while, and he and I have been connecting. He has an amazing story, and so does she. I can't wait to bring them on. But before we get started, guys, please share this broadcast. Please encourage people to watch. I am Tamara Johnson-shealey, your candidate for the United States Senate. We are so close. I want to say today is day 18, 16, 17. 17. I had to look over at my calendar. 17 days away. 17 days away from election day. We have been running strong, running hard. I am straight up grassroots campaigning, y'all. I'm good at it. I'm real good at it. But yeah, David, it's been an amazing journey. I've been following Trump and Biden and Ice Cube. Ice Cube has been. Do you know who Ice Cube is?
Yeah.
Who is Ice Cube,
I
David?
think so. He's not Ice-T, so I do know there are two rap guys that are. Ice-T is no longer that, but
Yeah, Ice-T has been acting for quite a while, but Ice Cube is still rapping, producing. He's a filmmaker, but Ice Cube has been in the news because he was a part of giving Trump some ideas for his platinum plan, and he's taken a lot of heat for collaborating with Trump for a plan for Black America, and it makes no sense to me because let me make it real clear. When I am elected, I promise you I will be reaching across the aisle. So let me be loud and clear. When I am elected, I will be reaching across the aisle. I will be working with Republicans. So for all the backlash that Ice Cube is getting, it makes absolutely no sense. This is policy. This is about an agenda. This is about Black America. This is about what needs to happen. I don't, this ain't friend. We ain't friends. I'm out here trying to get work done. So all the people giving Ice Cube a hard time, they really need to back off because this man is out here trying to he putting in that work. David, have you followed that at all?
no, I haven't, and I must say that I'm really. Hey, Nina.
Hey, Nina.
Yeah, I must say that I need to be convinced about this as well. So I understand the perspective of that the Democrats have not done um, uh, for working class African Americans, have not done anything, and that there is a leadership class within the African American community. Um, it has had a strong base, but that's some of the things that we need to talk about how we're
it has had a strong base. Black people have carried the Democratic Party, and for the, now we're demanding something. We've asked and asked and asked. Now we're demanding something, and it's a problem. They ignore the Democratic Party. Ice Cube put it out, and the Democratic Party told him to wait. Black America cannot wait, and we're not going to wait. So the fact that they have ignored our demand and our ask when we carry the Democratic Party, I thought it was brilliant that he went over, and Trump is saying whatever and might do whatever. We'll take a might than a wait. I take a might any day. He might do it, he might not, but I'll take that might better than a wait. You just gonna put me on the back burner when I carry the Democratic Party? No.
Well,
the ball right now, David.
The question is, if you're talking policy and you're talking political tactics, that's I'm not convinced that is the way to go. I mean,
so what would be the way to go, David?
Well,
the Democrats are telling us to wait.
I'm not talking about the Democrats. I'm talking
about.
I'm talking about what we've been trying to model for this last couple of years, which is that European American working class people have a role that they can play, and that independent class politics based upon struggle for equality is going to get us much further than I think, in my opinion, than trying to play the Democrats against the Republicans.
We don't have time. We're gonna keep working. It's like we're gonna walk and chew gum at the same time. We're gonna have to do this work and encourage white people to come on, let's get this right, let's do this right. But in the meantime, Black America's house is on fire. By 2053, the data shows we will have zero net wealth. We're continuing to go backwards in this country. We don't have time to wait. Republicans want to talk. We want to listen. Like I said, I will be reaching across the aisle. I will be trying to get, it's about policy. It's about saving ourselves. And it's about saving, all of us, Democrats and Republicans.
Well, I think that that one of the things that's making me uncomfortable is that
doing my job.
What?
I say I'm doing my job, making you uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, really. I mean, that's pretty much what I was going to say. Is that my being in a comfortable place is not a good thing. And what we're needing is to make uncomfortable those people who are claiming to represent working class folks, and are not doing a very good job of attracting European American working class people to a struggle for equality, and that's me included. And so I think what I hear from these kind of initiatives and the statements that you're making is that there is little evidence to African Americans and other people of color that European American working people are going to be with them.
Exactly. You haven't been with us yet, and we're like our house is on fire. We can't wait for you to, we're trying, and that's what you and I do every week. Every week we're on this broadcast trying, but in the meantime.
Yeah, but I'm wanting to make a distinction between the political establishments, both Republican and Democrat, and an independent, working class movement. that it seems to me is going to be um, hard to do with this layer of European American, what somebody called, described to me as white social democrats, white social democracy. Um, and that includes Bernie Sanders and the Democratic Socialists of America and a lot of other groups that, are claiming the this mantle of speaking for, or not speaking for, but are committed to organizing the working class without having a clear strategy of how you bring the people of color and European Americans into solidarity, into right relationship
Well,
with
they
each
think
other.
it's based on their terms, and it's not. And I think that's been the biggest struggle with the Democratic Socialists and Bernie. It's not on your terms, Bernie, and it's on. Hear us. We know what we need. We don't need you to tell us what we need. We know what we need, and we will lead the way. And that's the problem. They want to tell us what we need, and they want to lead the way.
Yeah, well, I'm convinced that that this is a historical pattern. It's um, the white social democrats have just never been able to get ahead of the curve to they're an awful lot better than they were 50 years ago or 75 years ago, and I'm including the Communist Party, the Socialist Party, but they're never really ahead of the curve when it comes to dealing with what they need to do, what their responsibility is to first of all, to the Black community, and the primary responsibility there is to work with European American working class people, and point out that the inequalities both are real and also don't really give European American workers anything more than an advantage over African American workers. They don't provide real benefits.
Yeah.
And this is part of the, this is really an existential issue. Who we are, who are we? And the any concession, it feels to me, of to the concept of working class European Americans being white people, you know, um, is um, is confusion, you
Yeah.
know.
Well, David,
Um,
let's hold our thought. We're gonna bring our guests in. You and I are on our rant this morning. But let's
yeah.
bring our guests in and let's talk about um, criminal justice reform. Good morning, Lenny. Good morning, Vandy.
Good morning.
Hey.
Can you hear us pretty good?
Good morning. How are you? We can hear you. It's a slight delay, so I'm gonna let you guys have the mic and tell us your story, Lenny. Tell us your story. I found Lenny just to kind of give everybody a heads up. It was a conference happening here in Georgia, and I saw this part of a story about this man who had been incarcerated for all these years, and I saw his wife who had her own death sentence. So it's like I wanted to hear more from the two of you. So I'm gonna stop because I know we need all of the broadband and to come to you. So I'm gonna stop and let you guys tell your story. Good morning and welcome to the broadcast.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Like Tamara said, we've been trying to get together to have this broadcast, and unfortunately, Vandy and I live in central Utah. We live in the middle of a national forest, so our internet is not the best. But interestingly, Vandy and I since you're talking about Black America and European Americans, it's interesting that Vandy and I met as a result of the 1921 race riots in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They created what are called magnet schools: Carver, George Washington Carver Middle School, and Booker T. Washington High School. And both of those schools are located in North Tulsa, which is predominantly African American. So they created these schools for the purpose of bridging the gap between the races in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And Vandy and I met there in algebra class in 1984. From that point, I was a pretty good athlete. I wound up getting a scholarship to play football. Went to a historically Black college, Langston University in Oklahoma. Graduated with my degree in business and a minor in programming. Entered the Navy. Wanted to go into officers candidate school, get my master's degree. But I struggled with an addiction. And this addiction caused me to be removed from the military. Within 1 week, I had snatched some money out of a cash register. First time offender, no one hurt. And I wound up being sentenced to prison for 2 life sentences plus 110 years. Wound up doing 23 years of that. Yeah, 23 years.
Wait. Back up and say that again. I gotta let that come, like, grasp that. This was a burglary, a small burglary at that. And you ended up, say that again.
Yes, I was sentenced to 2 life sentences plus 110 years in the state of Virginia without the possibility of parole.
For robbing less than $600.
Actually snatching less than $550 out of the cash register. So, yes. My brother, who is retired Air Force, has his own IT business, hadn't talked to him in 20 years. He came to visit me from Washington, D.C., and he created the www.justiceforlenny.org website and created a Facebook page. This was around my 17th or 18th year of incarceration. And this is how my wife, who is my wife now, Vandy, was able to find me. I'll let her tell you a little bit about how that went.
So, I searched for him for 28 years, off and on, especially with the advent of social media, and finally found him. And like you, I was shocked to hear, especially for Lenny, because Lenny, he's being modest. He was a star athlete and popular, and everybody loved him. And he just had that kind of personality that you knew he would go somewhere in life. And so I was shocked when not only I found him incarcerated, but then I found him incarcerated with 2 life sentences plus 110 years. And that just, at that point, I just started, I wrote him, and I wrote the governor, and I wrote the president of the United States on the very first day that I found him. And
President Obama.
Yeah. And I never stopped. I never stopped writing people to try and gain attention for him in a situation, because like you, it was shocking. My first response was, oh my gosh, how many people did Lenny kill? And he didn't kill anybody. He didn't even hurt anybody. So, to me, that's number one, a person can't even do 2 life sentences plus 110 years. That's not even physically possible. And then, for what he had done and the fact that he had an addiction issue, it just, first time offender, never been in trouble. And then his institutional record was spotless. While incarcerated, he never received an infraction for anything. So, and that was the Lenny that I knew. I knew I knew he had been unjustly incarcerated, and I'm not the type of person to sit by and let something go if I know it's wrong. And that's definitely wrong. And along this journey, I found out that that's been the case for many, many African Americans in this
And
country.
we haven't gotten there yet. But what turned my story, Tamara, was we made the front page of the New York Times. It was July of 2016, right?
Yeah.
A journalist by the name of Timothy Williams flew all the way from New York to Virginia, interviewed me inside the prison, and we made the front page of the New York Times. And from there, a man named Jason Flom, I don't know if you've heard of him. He's the CEO of Lava Records, and he's the co-founder of the Innocence Project. Well, that's what he does primarily. That's where his heart's at, is correcting and correcting our criminal justice system. Well, he wound up getting a one-on-one meeting with former Governor Terry McAuliffe in Virginia, brought up my situation, and on Governor McAuliffe's last day in office, which was January 12th, 2018, he pardoned me, gave me time served. I had to do a 5-month reentry program, and I was finally released on June 27th, 2018, after doing 23 years. So it was a big ado. WTKR Channel 3 was there. You know, we were Geneva Convention. We made that. What else? There were some other things.
Oh, yeah.
Alternate. I mean, it was a big deal because they were, you know, President Obama had started this pushing pardons while he was in office. Because I was a state inmate, we couldn't do a federal pardon, but we could do a state pardon. And most of your Democratic governors started falling in line with what President Obama was doing. And so we wound up going to Washington, D.C. Jason Flom flew us there. He was receiving the humanitarian, Frederick Douglass Humanitarian Award, and Governor McAuliffe were all on the stage at the same time. It was a great time. And since then, Vandy and I, this is what we do. We now work with Attorney Coxhill, the John A. Coxhill law firm out of Norfolk, Virginia, doing the very same thing for other inmates that was done for me. So that's what we do every day for our primary source of income. So in a nutshell, that's my story, Tamara.
I'm still speechless. Like I can't believe you served 23 years.
23.
23 years.
Yep.
My
And
heart
because
breaks.
Virginia, they don't have a parole system. So everyone who comes into the system has to serve 85% of their sentence. And the thing about our criminal justice system, as you all know, is broken, but they don't have a system in place that spots guys who are ready to be released. And that's what Vandy and I have been doing, working with John A. Coxhill and trying to find deserving guys, brothers inside those systems whose situations just need to be brought to the attention of people who can make a decision. And that's what happened with me. It took the media to highlight my case so that the governor could see it and the nation could see it in order to step in and do something. And so because of President Obama, former Governor McAuliffe, he set a system in place in Virginia now where they're looking for guys. They're looking for guys to release.
They still haven't brought back parole.
Exactly. So now they're being bombarded with all these pardon packages, which is overwhelming the parole board because not only do they have parole, they've got conditional pardons. They've got these new laws that have just been implemented, juvenile parole for young men who entered the system as teenagers. Once they serve 20 years, they're able to go for parole. And then they have what is called a fishback law, where guys were sentenced and the jury wasn't told that parole had been abolished. So they're giving out so much time in Virginia, and the people who are given the time don't even realize or understand that these guys are going to have to serve 85% of that time. So if you get 50 years, you got to do 40 plus of that.
What amazed me, especially in Lenny's case, was that it was one man that took Lenny's life away, basically. Just one man.
One
and
judge,
it was only the judge. And it was only one man that could make the decision to release him. And that was the governor. Right. And you would think that governors would be easy to access. I mean, they're hired by the people. But it's not. It's not easy at all. And so that's why we went about trying to get attention for him on a grander scale. And that was, you never know how things are going to work out. Lenny used to always tell me, do whatever's in your heart to do, because we just don't know who that one person is, which was Jason Flom.
Right.
Who that one person is that might be able to reach the governor. And so I went about, Lenny had a Facebook page. And so to put things on the Facebook page, I was going and looking for articles or anything I could find on criminal justice reform, mass incarceration, sentencing reform, anything like that. And I'd scroll down to the bottom and find those little blurbs where you can leave comments, down at the bottom. And I'd leave a comment and then post it to Facebook. I did that every single day for 2 years. And what happened is Timothy Williams actually saw one of those comments on the Marshall Project website from me doing that very thing. And he contacted us, incidentally, the very same day that Lenny's petition was accepted in the governor's office. Yeah. So it was kind of like
things just started falling in line.
Into place.
Yeah. It was time. As a matter of fact, honey, grab a copy of our book right there. While we were incarcerated, while I was incarcerated, Vandy and I published a book. We self-published, of course, called Love Conquers All, How Love Delivered Her from Cancer and Him from Prison. And initially, we really didn't plan on writing a book. We were just writing each other. And what we wound up doing was converting our letters into this book. And it details the journey that we took because, like you said, Tamara, Vandy had no idea she had stage 4 triple negative breast cancer. When she found me, that was something that popped up like 3 months later. And once they found that tumor growing on the base of her spine, they categorized her stage 4 and they started talking to her about quality of life. They didn't expect her to live more than 3 years. And here it is 6+ years later. She's been off of chemo for over 5 years. As a matter of fact, her last oncologist visit, he looked at her and he says, you're not supposed to be here. He says, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. You obviously have a purpose. And, from listening to you all's conversation about European Americans and Black Americans coming together, like you said, Tamara, we certainly need to be in the forefront, taking a lead on a lot of these issues. But there are a lot of things that, we can't get done actually without them. It's just like with the Black Lives Matter movement. You don't see just Blacks out there. You see every race of people, young people out there marching. And we need that. We need everybody coming together, working together to change this system. And like you said, the house is on fire on so many levels. Criminal justice reform being one of the biggest, because, it just blew my mind. Once I entered the prison system, I was 28 years old, college graduate, military. And when I walked in that prison and I saw all these African Americans, and we only make up 13% of the population, but 65% of the prison, I was like, what in the world is going on? And I met several men who were sentenced, maybe not as harshly as I was, but the sentences certainly didn't meet the crime. So we've been on this road now since I've been released, where we're trying to bring attention to guys who are sitting in these prisons with all this time for little or nothing. And there's many who are sitting in there who are actually innocent, but they don't have the money, they don't have the lawyers, they don't have the media attention.
They don't have a Vandy.
They don't have a Vandy.
Mhm.
Somebody who's going to hit that pavement, hit the social media, and bring attention to what's actually going on. So yeah, we've been fortunate. We're blessed. Before the pandemic hit, we were traveling and speaking. Of course, we live out here in the middle of Utah. I'm the only Black guy in my area here. And so we have a lot of spirited conversations about this upcoming election. Of course, there are Trump lovers out here, and Vandy and I both are definitely voting for Biden. You can believe that. But I enjoy sitting down trying to understand why working class white people don't understand that they're in the same boat with working class blacks, working class Hispanics. I mean, Trump's not interested in helping working class. I asked one guy, I said, how did his tax break help you? You know, what is he doing to actually move your lives forward? You know, you're in the same tax bracket as most of us. So what is he doing to help you? But they're staunch Trump supporters out here. So it's been interesting.
I've had to explain white privilege to a lot
Yes.
of people out here. And one of the examples I use is that, you know, I have an extra car that I've had, and I've kept it for when Lenny was released, and it needs to be tagged. And like I say, you know, I could go jump in that car and drive the 22 miles to town. That's how far out we are. And it wouldn't be a thing if I got stopped by the police. I could explain it and they'd be like, okay, get it taken care of.
Right.
If Lenny got in that same car and drove and got stopped, it would be a totally different story. And, you know, that's an example of white privilege. You know, white people don't have that fear just walking out their door of somebody harassing them, saying something demeaning to them, or actually taking their lives, as we're seeing all over the country. And so, you know, it's an understanding issue for sure, you know, because white people just don't understand.
They don't get it. And you'd be surprised how big their eyes get when they hear Vandy talking about white privilege because she's white. And because of her exposure, and I shared this with her, because of Booker T. Washington High School in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where it was 45% black, 45% white, 10% other, you know, and they were busing the white students from the white sides of town in Tulsa to come to North Tulsa to go to school. So it was that environment that really opened her up in particular, because I was born and raised in upstate New York, and I was accustomed to going to school with other groups of people. But that school has actually opened the eyes of so many white kids who are now in their mid-50s, who can clearly see what's happening in our country and clearly see that something needs to change.
And these magnet schools, they were funded by the government, and they're all over the country. They're still, as far as I know, being funded. I really,
I don't know how many magnet schools there are in the country.
I don't know how many there are today, but
right.
they were definitely funded at one point to help in the desegregation of America. That was their purpose.
But know this, Tamara, my mother has definitely been supporting you for a long time. I didn't know it either. I was telling her we're going to be on the show. She told me, yeah, I know who she is. I've donated towards her and everything. So, and she's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You got to get us some of those T-shirts too.
Yes, I sure will. I'll get her address. David, do you have any questions for Lenny and Vandy? I just want to say, thank you for coming on the broadcast. Thank you for sharing your story. Lenny, my heart breaks. And Vandy, I'm so glad you're still with us. It's such a blessing. You are an angel. You're an angel. David, do you have any questions or comments for Lenny and Vandy?
I'm really kind of overwhelmed by this whole situation, and it's I think it's just it's wonderful that you're out there in the in this heart of of the people who need this kind of information the most. And I think just hearing these stories is disruptive of the the mindset. Just your love story, the injustice of the system, that targets. There's it's not just mass incarceration; it's hyper incarceration. It's the targeting that goes on, and Vandy having an interracial experience in a society that up until I'd really like to hear more about these magnet schools, because I'm old. I was in high school a long time ago, and I really think that those kind of experiences are transformative for European American people. They're a transformational connection that they make, that we make, and I have my own. And I think that for this is one of the dreams or goals that I have, is to bring together European Americans who have had these kind of transformational experiences, and to amplify their voices, so that there's more of us, amplify their voices and direct their voices to European American people who are who have not had have not made these connections, and to at least indirectly bring them bring them into relationship.
David, let me tell you, I'm actually a product of the magnet school program. So when Lenny and Vandy talk about magnet schools, I understand. I was integrated into this. It was my high school was very diverse. You had a lot of rich, wealthy white kids, and then you had urban Black kids that came together. And I can tell you that is where I think I get a lot of who I am, just like you and Lenny. This is where we understand being in right relationship, as David liked to call it. It's common sense. It's who we are. It's comfortable. I had, when I was doing nails, I owned a nail salon for many years, and I remember one of my Black clients asking me one time, because I had a very large white clientele, and I remember one of my Black clients asking me one time. She said, "Why do white people like you so much?" And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't see anything. It was my norm. It because of the way I was, like I said, being in a magnet school program where that wasn't an issue. That we were there and we were friends, and I still have a lot of. I have white friends and Black friends, Latino friends. I have all kinds of friends.
Right. And it is that exposure that helps young people look at each other differently. We don't see, of course you see skin color, but it doesn't impact you like it does for people. Like, I met people out here who told me, "Lenny, I didn't see a Black person until I was 18 years old." And I was like, what? 18 years old, they had their first experiences with Black people. And those magnet schools really do help shape generations, for sure.
Well, I want to thank you, Lenny and Vandy. Love does conquer all. Y'all, I'm gonna make sure you put your website link up so that I can share that in the feed, so that people will know where to find your book. Love does conquer all, and I want to say I love you, Lenny. Keep being the strong fighter that you are. Vandy, keep being that inspiration. I just thank you for sharing your story with us this morning. I couldn't wait to have y'all on. I stayed in touch because I was like, they're going to come on this broadcast at some point.
Yeah, you made it happen.
That's great.
Yes. Well, if ever you're back in Atlanta, please be sure to look us up.
Oh, you can bank on it. You can bank on it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us on the broadcast this morning, Lenny and Vandy. And be sure to share your link so that we can share your book, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. We just put it in the chat box.
Okay. All right. I will put it up on the screen. There it is. I see it. Let me put it up before you go so that people will know where to find Lenny and Vandy, get their book, hear their story, reach out to them. I'm sure they're looking for speaking engagements. Please. Let me put it on the screen. There it is right there. LennyVandy.org.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good morning.
You too.
Egberto is in the house. Good morning, Egberto.
Good morning. I didn't hear the full story, but it seemed like a lovely story. And if they put a big smile in the face like it did for you, that must have been a great story.
Yes,
I'm going to go to that website and learn about those two as soon as I get a chance.
Yes, Egberto, you got to have them on your broadcast. His story is amazing, and so is hers. Definitely reach out to them.
Okay, well, thank you. There's always great reason to come on to Tamara for Georgia.
Yes. So Lenny and Vandy, y'all be on the listen for Egberto so you guys can get on politics.
I am definitely going to be contacting you guys. Absolutely. So how is my favorite show doing today?
We are good, Egberto. What's going on nationally?
Nationally, I don't know, but all I know is one thing. I think let me just tell you my thoughts. I think we are getting ready. And folks, the first thing is you got to get the hell out there and vote. The polls are correct today, and the polls were correct in 2016. We just read them wrong. Okay, they were correct. So the polling is telling people exactly how they feel right now. They must make it be realized by going out there and voting, because the sentiment is that 60% of this country, at least 60% of this country wants something else. And I think what the polls are starting to show is that if people vote the way they feel right now, if people feel empowered the way they are, Georgia and Texas, let me tell you, I am so proud of Georgia and Texas. Georgia, people in Georgia are saying, I don't care if a tornado comes to Atlanta, I am going to vote. And the same thing is happening in Texas. I was a part of the Obama campaign in 2008. People weren't even as enthusiastic as I see them now. In 2008, I've never seen this type of enthusiasm from people to vote. And when I say enthusiasm, it's not only that, it's that they are scared. They want to make their vote count. And I sure hope that continues. Georgia has been breaking records. Texas has been breaking records. The two states that he's not supposed to win.
Well, Trump was in Macon yesterday.
He was spreading.
He was in Middle Georgia yesterday.
He was spreading his germs, and you have apparently there is a black congressperson out there that they were surfing over the crowd. So it seemed like a raisin was going across this crowd yesterday with everybody.
Who was that? Who was it?
I have no idea. I just got a tweet or a WhatsApp or one of those things. We are all connected all kinds of ways. And I saw this black guy being surfed over a mountain of white people. It was like, wow. It's like they're sending him off. It was a beautiful sight.
Now I'm like sitting here trying to search it because I am. Is that Vernon Jones? Wait a minute. Let me.
Probably. It was a beautiful sight of infection, right, David?
Did you?
Yeah, I'm confused about what.
I see it. Let me put it on the screen. Lord Jesus.
I don't think Jesus has anything to do with it, Tamara. Jesus has nothing to do with that.
Let me put this on the screen. 1 second. Like I didn't see this, but now I do, and I'm gonna show it because
I couldn't believe
wow.
what I was seeing.
There it is. That's the.
Yes.
Is that the picture? Oh
That
my
is the
gosh.
picture.
That's State Representative Vernon Jones. Oh wow. So
Oh,
okay,
man.
Vernon Jones used to be the CEO of the county. Yeah. Wow. No mask. You're right. Oh, Vernon.
Okay,
Yikes.
so he may not be the CEO of your county much longer because I can
Yeah.
guarantee you a few people there are COVID infected, and there's a good likelihood that he's breathing in all those viruses that are searching for a place to be.
Yeah.
But
Oh no. Oh wow. Okay. I didn't
so,
see that until now. We all
but
saw it together.
at least I had a little positivity to bring to the Tamara for Georgia show. It was it was a time of levity, David. Right? We have to try to bring something out of this disaster, don't we?
Yeah, I think you're right there. The poetics of it,
Ooh, David,
are
you're
is
you're
are
so subtle, David.
well, it's there's I don't know. I mean, am I being subtle? I'm not even sure what I'm saying here about poetics. Uh, the there we're under enormous stress,
Yeah.
and I keep joking about my lifestyle is social isolation anyway, but not being able to touch anybody, not being able to living alone, and in this kind of isolation. I mean, I work out every day. I eat right, and all of that, but I, I'm 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 really concerned about how you know how people are responding. I mean, we're monkeys, we're primates, and
Mhm.
primates have to be able to
Socialize.
not just socialize, but actually be in physical. Uh,
Contact.
so
Well, this is the COVID season, so we're just trying to stay safe. I think, like I was telling somebody the other day, a friend of mine who hadn't been out the house much, I was like, girl, put that mask on, and get out and you still gotta live. We
yeah.
still live in the midst of this. So Egberto Willies, I appreciate you this morning coming on the broadcast, giving us a national political perspective. You can find Egberto. Go ahead.
Wait. I'm sorry, it's your show, but I have to say something. Folks, remember, Tamara is in Georgia. She's running for Senate. She's doing a hard job, and she's going around the country, going
Right.
around the state, all over the place. I want to put a specific plea in on her show. She didn't ask me to do this or anything. I want you guys to go and go to her site at tamaraforgeorgia.com and please contribute to that campaign. Let's close her out strong. Let's the grassroots show what it's all about. There's one thing that we've failed. We constantly allow them to put names in front of us. Let's start uplifting those who are really there for us. So please, I urge you to go to tamaraforgeorgia.com. And if you have Cash App, go to the Tamara for Georgia. And let's make sure and put our money where we say we want things to be, because she's going to be with us for quite a long time. Sorry for taking your time, Miss Senator. But I just felt that I needed to do something like that, ma'am.
I appreciate it, Egberto. I appreciate it. Yes, you can find Egberto Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. This man is everywhere. Politics done right with Egberto Willies. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys. Love your show as usual. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Egberto.
Take care, Alberto. Stay safe.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
I think you're right. People have to get out. Another thing we need is to be in touch with nature, be in communication with each other, keep on expressing our um, feelings of love and solidarity with one another. And, we will, you're absolutely right. This is where there's a spike going on now all across the country. The places in coronavirus. Um,
Yeah, but I know it is, but I'm just encouraging people, just wear the damn mask.
Yeah.
Somebody said, "Why, Vernon? Why, Vernon? Yes, why? Why would Vernon do that? I don't know. It was not, he must have been just in the moment. And even if he was just in the moment, just put the mask on. That's just not a hard ask. Wash your hands, put your mask on. Try not to be, too many in a space and a place at the same time. Just do the things that are just going to keep us safe. But David, I'm committed to living in the midst of this, because it's, to me, that's like a slow death, sitting around and scared and living in fear of catching this thing. To me that's a slow death. I don't want to sit and die. So I'm going to live. I'm going to put my mask on. I'm going to wash my hands. I'm going to social distance. I'm going to get as close as I can without getting too close to people. I'm going to live in the process of this. And I don't want to see our economy be shut down again. I don't want to see that happen. I don't want to see a state. I want us to see us move forward. I don't want to see anybody's state shut down over this. I don't.
Yeah, well, I mean, the countries that have done the best have had a healthy respect for the virus, and the vast majority of people have taken it seriously and done the kind of practices that will slow down and prevent the spread, and they have governments that are on top of of the process of containing it. We have a few places in the country that are now able to do that, but there's not, the the overall leadership of the infectious disease experts and
Talking
public health.
about Fauci.
Yeah, I mean, I'm waiting for the three of them, Fauci, Redfield, and Birx, to come out with something. I mean, they have not. They're.
And that's where I think it's politics.
Well, I think that they are caught in this compromise of that you hear from these people who had been in the Trump administration, where they say, well, we think we're doing more good inside than we would outside, but at a certain point, that becomes. I mean, the guy is, Trump is saying things that are having enormous influence, and is. So
do you think he had the virus?
Do I think he had it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I think he had a severe case.
I'm not sure he had it.
What's that?
I said I am not sure that I believe he had it.
Oh, why would they send him to the Walter Reed Hospital? I mean, he was in there for 4 days, mm-hmm. And the reports were that he was he was seriously ill. So
I didn't see where he was seriously ill. He said he was feeling well.
I think it was clear when he was back in the White House, when he was really in bad shape. And the other thing is, he won't say when he got tested. When was his last negative?
I think this is all politics. I think it's all political.
I don't see what you're saying that he would get out of it, but
He's showing how wimpy the virus is. He's kind of showing how, maybe anybody can fight this. If he's a 70-some-odd-year-old man and he fought this, maybe, look, anybody can get past this. It's not as bad as you think it is. And
yeah, well, okay, I see the point that you're making. I don't think that was the case. I think that's a conspiracy, too far. I mean, it would require. It would require.
Look. I got somebody else. He said, "I don't believe it either," and we never know exactly where the president ever is. So
yeah, well, that's true.
Didn't have it.
But if we keep in mind how many people were involved, dozens of doctors and hundreds of staff and folks like that, and the risks that he was taking with other people's health, I just think, and continues to take with other people's health, and these things that he said that had to do with, on the town hall that he did, where he gives out this misinformation about 85% of people who wear masks are. I mean, this is. I'm really waiting for the three, leaders of the Centers for Disease Control and the public health leaders to. I mean, they need to resign. I mean, it's. They cannot any longer sustain this this barrage of I mean, people are getting killed over this, and the longer they stay in, the more likely it is that that this information just doesn't. I mean, the World Health Organization just came out and said that what he's touting as a cure is that there's no evidence for it, So remdesivir.
I don't put anything past this administration. I think that Trump will do. This was right after the debate. When he had Corona. What a great way to take the media's attention off of the way that debate went, and now focus it on him specifically and coronavirus. So, it was a great. If he didn't have it, it was a great stunt. It worked. So I just think that we're in I'm encouraging everybody to go to the polls. We're in early voting. November 3rd is just days away, 17 days away, I believe. Yeah, 17 days away. Just, go to the polls. And I actually talk about people voting their conscience and voting their interest. That's the only way things are going to change in this country.
Yeah, absolutely.
Spending your political currency.
Yeah, and it's clear that that people, all across the country are, really taking this seriously, and I think that that's probably going to be a powerful force in preventing the Republicans from attempting anything, in the days after the election. Because it's going to be, apparent and clear to all that there was, an incredibly high turnout, and those votes need to be counted.
Yeah.
So,
I'm excited that people are getting out early, David.
Yeah.
These early numbers are gonna, add up. So it's just been I'm excited about this election season. We're almost at the top of the hour. We got a minute left, David. I am Tamara Johnson-shealey, your candidate for the United States Senate. I want to thank again Lenny and Vandy for joining us on the broadcast today. Their story is absolutely amazing. Go to their website, lennyvandy.org, Lenny and Vandy Singleton. Please go to their website, get their book, spread the word. Criminal justice reform is definitely a part of my platform. I will be leaning on them, as when I'm elected, I will be leaning on them, because I know that they'll have some great insight and will be able to help me navigate my thinking and help navigate policy. This is where we do politics from the ground up. This is, people's perspective. What's really going on? I don't do top down politics. I like to get on the ground. I like to hear directly from the people and work directly with the people. So I'm excited about, what's to come, David.
Yeah, absolutely. This was just I am full, from their story. I mean, they really fill you with um, with wonder and admiration and solidarity.
And love does conquer all. The title is just amazing because it does. It conquers all. And I tell you all the time, David, how much I love you and how much I appreciate you. And I love working with you. And because I know this is what it needs to look like. I always tease it. You said the aesthetics of it. You said that many years ago, like the aesthetics of me and you, Tamara. Like I'm this radical Black woman. You're this white man, and look, just the two of us talking the way we talk and collaborate the way we do. This is what, and then seeing Lenny and Vandy, and that's it's true love. And it's just, this is what America is. This is who we are. And I'm encouraged that we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there together. So I'm just excited about all the work and all there is to come. I really am, David.
Yeah. Amen to that.
Yes. You can find us right here. Thank you, ADOS Truth. Thank you. You can find us right here every Saturday at 11 a.m. I am Tamara Johnson-Shealey. My trusty co-host, Mr. David Slavin. You can find him at Acknowledge the Divide right here on Facebook. Please go to my website. Please, y'all. We don't have much longer here. Donate, volunteer, be a part of this process. We have a race to win. Taking a bold agenda to Washington.
Power to the people.
Power to the people. See y'all next week. Thank you, David.
Thank you.